The theater lights dim, and for a split second the room feels like it's holding its breath. Before the judges even look up, before the cameras find the nervous smile on stage, there's a story waiting to be told, one about a voice that crossed oceans, a dream that refused to stay quiet, and a moment that would change a life forever. If you believe talent can come from anywhere and hope can rise from the most ordinary places, stay with this story to the very end. And if moments like this move you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like these deserve to be shared. He walks onto the stage with careful steps, a young Filipino man wearing a simple outfit, nothing flashy, nothing loud. His name is called, and he introduces himself with a soft voice that almost disappears into the massive hall. He talks about growing up in a small town in the Philippines, where nights were filled with the hum of old radios and the sound of waves hitting the shore. His father worked long hours, his mother stretched every peso to make sure the family stayed together, and music was the one thing that made hard days feel lighter. As a child, he didn't have fancy toys, but he had songs that felt like friends when the world felt too heavy. He explains how he first heard Elvis Presley on a scratched CD borrowed from a neighbor. He didn't understand all the English words at first, but he felt the emotion. The sadness, the strength, the soul, it spoke to him in a way nothing else ever had. While other kids dreamed of being athletes or movie stars, he stood in front of a cracked mirror, holding a hairbrush like a microphone, pretending the applause of the ocean was a cheering crowd. People laughed sometimes. Others told him it was unrealistic, that someone like him couldn't sing Elvis on a world stage. But dreams don't listen to doubt. They grow quietly, waiting for the right moment. The judges smile politely as he finishes his introduction. Simon Cowell leans back, arms crossed, his face calm but unreadable. He's heard thousands of singers, watched countless hopefuls walk on and off this stage. Another Elvis song, another big dream, he's seen it all before. Or so he thinks. The contestant nods when asked if he's ready, closes his eyes for just a heartbeat, and the music begins. The first note changes everything. It's not loud at first. It's controlled, warm, and unexpectedly deep. The room shifts. The audience leans forward. This isn't an imitation, it's a feeling. His voice carries the weight of years spent believing when no one else did. Each line is delivered with respect, not just to Elvis, but to the journey that brought him here. The nerves melt away as confidence takes over, and suddenly the small-town boy is gone. In his place stands an artist who knows exactly who he is. Simon's eyebrows lift. One judge glances at another. This wasn't what they expected. As the song builds, so does the emotion. His voice cracks slightly in one moment, not from weakness, but from honesty. You can hear the struggle, the long nights, the sacrifices his family made. The audience starts to feel it too. Some smile, some whisper wow, and a few wipe away tears without realizing it. This isn't just a performance, it's a story being sung. Halfway through, something incredible happens. The contestant opens his eyes and looks straight at the judges, no fear left, only gratitude. It's as if he's saying, "This is my chance, and I'm giving you everything I have." His voice grows stronger, filling the theater with a power that feels almost unreal. The band fades perfectly behind him, letting the voice shine, letting the truth come through. Simon sits forward now. He's no longer relaxed. He's listening, really listening. For a man known for his skepticism, that alone says everything. The final note hangs in the air, long and steady, then fades into silence. For a moment, nobody moves. No clapping, no shouting. Just quiet. And then the room explodes. The audience jumps to their feet, applause crashing like thunder. Cheers echo from every corner of the theater. The young singer stands frozen, eyes wide, hands shaking, trying to understand what just happened. The judges stand too. One of them places a hand over their heart. Another shakes their head in disbelief. And Simon smiles. Not a polite smile, not a forced one, but a genuine expression of surprise and respect. He waits for the noise to die down before speaking. "I didn't expect that," Simon says honestly. He talks about how risky it is to sing Elvis, how so many people try and fail. He admits that he had doubts the moment the contestant walked on stage. Then he pauses, looks directly at the singer, and says something that changes everything. "You didn't just sing an Elvis song. You made it yours." Tears fill the contestant's eyes. He thinks of his parents watching from home, of the people who believed and the ones who didn't. He remembers the long journey, the fear, the hope. In this moment, it all feels worth it. The votes are cast. It's a clear yes. A unanimous yes. As he walks off the stage, the applause follows him, and backstage he finally breaks down, covering his face, overwhelmed by joy. This wasn't just a performance, it was proof. Proof that dreams don't care where you come from, what language you speak, or how small your beginning was. The story doesn't end there, because moments like this travel far beyond one stage. They reach people sitting at home, watching on small screens, wondering if their own dreams are too big or too late. This performance becomes a reminder that belief is powerful, that courage sounds like a voice shaking but singing anyway, and that sometimes, the world just needs to hear you once. If this story inspired you, if it reminded you why you love music and human moments that feel real, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. More stories like this are waiting, stories of hope, talent, and unforgettable breakthroughs. Because somewhere right now, another dreamer is standing in front of a mirror, holding a hairbrush, waiting for their chance. And when it comes, we'll be here to witness it. The moment the lights dim inside the massive auditorium, something invisible changes in the air. It's the kind of silence that doesn't feel empty, it feels expectant, heavy with possibility. Somewhere between the echo of footsteps and the soft hum of cameras adjusting focus, a story is about to begin. Not just a performance, not just another audition, but a moment that will remind millions why dreams matter. If you've ever believed that music can change a life, stay with this story until the very end. And if stories like this touch your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because these moments deserve to live forever. A young Filipino man steps onto the stage, his shoulders slightly tense, his hands clasped together as if holding onto courage itself. The stage feels enormous compared to the small streets he grew up on back home. Bright lights wash over him, and for a second, the world he knows disappears. All he can hear is his own breathing and the distant murmur of an audience waiting to be surprised. He introduces himself quietly, his accent gentle, his smile nervous but sincere. There is nothing flashy about him, no dramatic outfit, no bold entrance, just a simple man carrying an extraordinary dream. He begins to speak about his life, and with each sentence, a picture forms. He grew up in a modest home in the Philippines, where the roof leaked during heavy rain and electricity sometimes went out at night. His parents worked tirelessly, doing whatever jobs they could find, not to build luxury, but to build stability. Money was often tight, but love never was. Music filled the spaces where comfort was missing. Old radios played borrowed songs, and sometimes neighbors gathered just to listen, because music made everything feel lighter, even if only for a few minutes. As a child, he discovered Elvis Presley almost by accident. A neighbor had an old CD, scratched and worn, but still powerful. The first time he heard that voice, something inside him shifted. He didn't fully understand the lyrics, but he understood the emotion. He felt the loneliness, the confidence, the pain, and the hope all wrapped into one sound. Elvis didn't just sing, he told stories. And for a boy who felt unseen by the world, those stories felt personal. He practiced quietly, often alone. Sometimes he sang by the sea, letting the waves drown out his mistakes. Other times he sang into a cracked mirror, imagining it was a crowd cheering for him. People around him didn't always understand. Some smiled politely, others laughed, and a few told him to be realistic. Singing won't feed a family, they said. Dreams don't pay bills. But dreams don't need permission to exist. They grow in silence, fueled by hope and stubborn belief. Back on the AGT stage, the judges listen with mild interest. They've heard stories like this before: humble beginnings, big dreams. Simon Cowell sits back in his chair, arms crossed, expression calm but distant. He's watched thousands of hopeful singers stand where this young man stands now. Many claimed inspiration from legends. Few delivered anything memorable. Singing Elvis is risky. Everyone knows that. The expectations are high, and the comparisons are unforgiving. When asked what he will sing, the contestant answers simply, "An Elvis song." A few audience members exchange looks. The judges nod, polite but cautious. The music begins, and for a split second, time seems to pause. The first note emerges, soft but steady. It's not an imitation. It's not forced. It's honest. The room shifts almost immediately. Conversations stop. Phones lower. The audience leans forward without realizing it. There's warmth in his voice, a richness that feels lived in, as if every note has been earned through experience rather than training alone. His accent doesn't disappear, it adds character, authenticity. This isn't someone trying to be Elvis. This is someone honoring him. As he continues, the nerves fade from his face. His posture changes. His eyes close, not to hide, but to feel. Each lyric carries weight, shaped by years of dreaming, struggling, and refusing to quit. The song grows, and so does the emotion. You can hear the longing in his voice, the quiet strength, the resilience of someone who has waited a long time to be heard. Simon's expression changes. Almost imperceptibly at first. His eyebrows lift. He leans forward slightly. He's listening now, not judging, not comparing, but listening. One judge glances at another, eyes wide. This wasn't what they expected. The audience begins to respond, murmurs of surprise spreading like a wave. Midway through the song, the singer opens his eyes and looks out across the theater. For a moment, it's overwhelming. Thousands of faces. Bright lights. But instead of shrinking, he stands taller. His voice grows stronger, filling the space with confidence and emotion. There's a slight crack in one note, not a mistake, but a moment of truth. It makes the performance more human, more real. You can feel the story behind the sound. Long nights practicing after exhausting days. Moments of doubt. Moments of hope. The faces of his parents, watching from home, praying quietly that their son's courage will be rewarded. The people who said he couldn't, and the few who said he could. All of it pours into the music. As the song builds toward its climax, the theater feels electric. Some audience members are already on their feet. Others wipe tears from their eyes, surprised by how deeply this performance has reached them. Music has a way of doing that, breaking down walls, connecting strangers through shared emotion. The final note is powerful and controlled, held just long enough to leave the room breathless. When it ends, silence follows. Not awkward silence. Reverent silence. The kind that happens when people need a moment to process what they've just felt. Then the applause erupts. It's thunderous. Immediate. People stand, cheering, clapping, shouting his name. The young man on stage looks stunned. His hands shake. His eyes fill with tears. He bows slightly, overwhelmed, trying to hold himself together in front of the world. The judges stand as well. One of them places a hand over their heart. Another laughs in disbelief. And Simon Cowell, known for his honesty, his sharp criticism, smiles. A real smile. The kind that can't be faked. When the noise finally settles, Simon speaks. He admits that singing Elvis is one of the hardest choices a contestant can make. He explains how many people try and fail. He pauses, looking directly at the singer, and says that he didn't expect to feel anything from this performance, but he did. Deeply. You didn't copy Elvis, Simon says. You respected him. And you showed us who you are. The words hit hard. The contestant covers his mouth, tears spilling freely now. This is the moment he dreamed of, the validation he never thought he'd receive from someone like Simon Cowell. The votes are clear. Every judge says yes. Unanimous. The crowd cheers again, louder than before. As he walks off the stage, he feels light, almost unreal, like he's floating. Backstage, away from the cameras, he finally breaks down completely, sobbing with joy and relief. Years of doubt release all at once. But this story isn't just about advancing to the next round. It's about what moments like this represent. Somewhere in the Philippines, his parents are watching on a small screen, hands clasped, tears streaming down their faces. Neighbors who once doubted him sit in silence, stunned. Kids who dream of something bigger see proof that it's possible. This performance travels far beyond the theater. It reaches people in different countries, different situations, all feeling the same thing: hope. It reminds them that talent isn't limited by geography, that passion can cross oceans, and that belief can carry you further than you ever imagined. In the end, the most powerful part of this story isn't the applause or the judges' praise. It's the courage it took to stand on that stage and sing anyway. To believe when belief was difficult. To keep going when quitting would have been easier. If this story moved you, if it reminded you why you love music and human moments that feel real, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. More stories like this are coming, stories of dreams, courage, and unforgettable breakthroughs. Because somewhere right now, another dreamer is listening to a song for the first time, feeling something spark inside them, and wondering if their voice matters. And the answer is yes. Always yes.